Before Dyson became a global brand, he failed 5,126 times. That's not a metaphor. That's the real number of prototypes James Dyson built and threw away. 5,000 machines that didn't work. 5,000 chances to quit. Banks said no, manufacturers said no. The industry said the idea was pointless. But the problem was never the vacuum. It was a business model designed to profit from failure. Clogged bags, lost suction, planned replacement. James Dyson wasn't rich. He wasn't connected. He wasn't supposed to win. For years, he fought a quiet war against an industry that didn't want to be fixed. Each prototype failed. Time ran out, money ran thin, until prototype 5,127. That one changed everything. And what finally worked wasn't just better engineering. It was ruthless focus. Cutting away everything that didn't matter to obsess over the one thing that did. A strategy borrowed from an unlikely place: competitive pumpkin farming. This is the story of Dyson and the Pumpkin Plan in its purest form. The Pumpkin Plan isn't a business book. It's a growth philosophy. When Mike Michalowicz wrote it, he wasn't winning. He was struggling inside his own business. Busy, overworked, always selling, always doing, never getting ahead. Looking for answers, he came across something unexpected. Farmers who grow record-breaking pumpkins, so massive they need cranes just to lift them. Their method was simple and ruthless. They don't try to grow 10 pumpkins, they grow one. They identify the strongest seed, pour everything into it, and cut away everything else, early, aggressively, and without regret. That's when Michalowicz realized something powerful. The farmers who grow the biggest pumpkins use the same strategy as the most successful companies. Extraordinary growth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, better. The book lays out a 7-stage system modeled directly from pumpkin farming. James Dyson never read this book, but long before it existed, he lived it. At a sawmill, Dyson watched a massive cyclone tower separate dust from air without any loss of power. No bags, no filters, no clogging, and a thought hit him like lightning. What if a home vacuum worked the same way? That question became his life's mission. A mission that demanded absolute focus, every dollar he had, and 15 years of rejection, because every giant pumpkin starts as a stubborn little seed. Most entrepreneurs chase too many ideas. The Pumpkin Plan demands extreme focus. One seed, one direction, one obsession. Before the cyclone, Dyson invented everything: the ball barrow, the wheelboat, the trolley ball. He was creative, curious, and completely scattered. Then the cyclone idea took hold. It wouldn't let go. It was universal, scalable, system-ready. Dyson found his Atlantic giant seed and bet his entire future on it. Growth doesn't come from adding more. It comes from removing what doesn't belong. Dyson pitched his Cyclone to Hoover, Electrolux, Black & Decker. Every one of them rejected him, not because it failed, but because it worked too well. Bagless meant no replacement bags, no recurring revenue, billions lost. So Dyson made a brutal decision. He stopped chasing the giants, he pruned them all, and he turned to Japan, the one market obsessed with innovation. That single act of pruning saved the dream. Mike Michalowicz writes, "Success is not doing more, it's doing the right thing with relentless focus." James Dyson didn't just believe that, he paid for it. Every rejection, every closed door, every year without income. This wasn't discipline, it was survival. You can't grow anything while you're bleeding out. This was Dyson's darkest period. He mortgaged his home. His wife supported the family as a teacher. He had a working idea, and nothing else. So he cut everything non-essential and poured every ounce of energy into the cyclone. He tightened the tourniquet just long enough to survive. After 15 years, after thousands of failures, Dyson finally had a working prototype, and still, no one would manufacture it. He succeeded and immediately hit a dead end. Great businesses don't grow from mass appeal. They grow from the right few. Japan didn't just accept the cyclone, they embraced it. Dyson launched the G-Force, a luxury vacuum that sold for over $2,000. It won awards. It built credibility. It made Dyson a name. He didn't need millions of customers. He needed the right ones. When the right customers love you, their network becomes your network. Once Japan embraced Dyson, retailers, designers, manufacturers, and media followed. Dyson didn't chase opportunity. Opportunity chased him. When Dyson entered the UK, Hoover responded with the Vortex, a thinly disguised knockoff of Dyson's Cyclone technology. They tried to destroy him with his own invention. Dyson sued, and he won. £4 million in damages, and something far more valuable: legitimacy. From that moment on, Dyson wasn't just surviving, he was taking over. Brilliance doesn't scale, systems do. Dyson turned innovation into a machine. Prototype, test, fail, improve, repeat. Hundreds of times, sometimes thousands. Airflow, noise, efficiency, manufacturing precision. That's why a Dyson product is instantly recognizable. Systemization built the empire. In 2019, Dyson made one of the hardest decisions in modern business. After spending $2.5 billion developing an electric car, he killed the project. The car worked. The engineering was world-class, but the business didn't. So Dyson walked away. No sunk cost fallacy, no ego, just discipline. And he redirected billions into robotics, AI, and energy systems. The system wasn't abandoned, it was protected. Dyson doesn't guess. He builds with his customers. Early access, prototype feedback, user testing, the Airblade, the bladeless fan, the supersonic dryer. The future wasn't predicted. It was co-created. Today, Dyson is a global empire. 15,000 employees, products in 80 countries, a brand synonymous with innovation. It all began with one stubborn idea, and the courage to prune everything else. Dyson didn't build a business, he grew a giant pumpkin. Most people live the way Dyson did before the cyclone. Too many ideas, too many projects, too many distractions. But giant pumpkins and giant companies only grow one way: extreme focus, selective nurturing, relentless pruning. Dyson didn't win because he was brilliant. He won because he committed. Mike Michalowicz says, there is always a direct correlation between diluted focus and a diluted bank account. So ask yourself, what is my Atlantic giant seed? Not 10 ideas, not 5, not even 3, just one. The idea that won't leave you alone, the one worth pruning everything else for. Grow that seed. Your future depends on it. He wasn't rich, he wasn't lucky, he wasn't special. He was relentless, obsessed, focused. James Dyson bet everything on one stubborn idea and grew it the way giant pumpkins grow, with radical focus and ruthless pruning. You don't need more ideas. You need one great seed and the courage to grow it until the world has no choice but to notice.